What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is, man. Go ahead and click on that StreamYard link for my guests that are going to be coming through tonight so you can comment with the living legend. But before we get down to that, let's go ahead for my people that are out there on YouTube. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you can go ahead and like our material. We're going to keep bringing you the hot stuff every week, from the Falcons to interviews and everything else, man. You already know how we get down, man. BirdCage is official. Let's get it.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, family? You already know what time it is, man. Welcome to the BirdCage. This is the On the Perch edition. We got a special guest tonight. He is a former world champion. Ended up doing something that many fighters don't do. He's an undisputed WBA, IBF, and WBO lightweight champion, Nate the Galaxy Warrior Campbell. Hey, we got a legend that's coming through the BirdCage tonight, man. It's a beautiful thing. He's also he's also a football fan, and he also enjoys sports, and he's a philanthropist in the community, and he's also an entrepreneur, excuse me. But before we get to that, I had a little tribute for my father. He passed away on Sunday, so we're not going to be doing the show live with you guys next week. I just wanted to make sure I let you guys know that. We're going to have a pre-recorded show, but we still going to bring out that material for you. So I want to thank all of you that have reached out, given me well wishes, and my family condolences. This was a tough one. He passed away on Sunday, but hey, no relationship is perfect, ladies and gentlemen, no matter who you are, where you are with somebody in their life. Cherish those moments, the good moments that you have with people, because at the end of the day, tomorrow's not promised. And honestly, it's a tough pill to swallow in some aspects of it, but you look at it from a standpoint of you cherish everything that you do and you take life and live it to the extreme. My father was one who did live life to the extreme. He did his thing. And he will be sorely missed by us, family and everything else. So I just wanted to thank everybody for reaching out to me and my family. But, without further ado, I got to bring in my crew. You already know how it goes down. I got to get my man Killian K-Dub Worthy into the building. You already know what it is, man. Let's go. Let's get it. What's up, K-Dub?
What it is, what it do, what it gonna be. BirdCage official tonight. You know what I'm saying? We got an interview with the great boxing legend. Let's sit back, let's kick back, and let's enjoy this interview, y'all. All our listeners, followers, and people out there that tune in to the BirdCage every week. We appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. Keep the word spread. Like, share, and subscribe. BirdCage LLC. Good to be in the building tonight. K-Dub ready to tackle it. Let's go.
All right. So without further ado, you already know what we're going to do. We got to bring in the special guest, the legend himself, Nate the Galaxy Warrior Campbell, one of the greatest to ever lace up some gloves. What's going on, champ?
Hey, man. Thank y'all. How you doing, man? Such a nice intro, man. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you perfectly. We see you in the lab tonight. We see you.
Yeah,
What's
man,
happening?
Everybody
That's
started.
what we talking about right there, baby.
The grind don't look. The grind don't stop. We even though
Nah,
you're not in the game anymore fighting, that grind does not stop, man. So
nah.
how is it?
I would say
I said the grind doesn't stop, brother. So you already know what it is, man. So how is it, man, out there training these young fighters now?
it's good. You can't argue. You can't debate. It's a lot of up and down. You got guys come in and you have to argue with them a little bit, but you know it's a little different now than what it was when I was coming up. When I was coming up, I ain't seen nothing back to my trainer.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
he was, I thought he was gonna shoot me.
But you got to remember, it's a different breed of athlete out here now when you talk about it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part about that is when we talk about these individuals who come to the game now, it's like, man, do you not want to listen to experience? Do you not want to learn from the greats that are already around? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't. But you know what? That's because they're not used to sound teaching. There are no more teachers. I'm gonna say that. A teacher can only teach you something that they have learned from experience and doing it a lot of times. They Georgia Denton is gone.
Yep.
Legend.
Manny Stewart is gone.
Mm, good old Manny.
They don't want John David and Buddy McGirt no more. They
Woo.
ain't.
Most definitely. So we gotta bring our other brother onto the panel and whatnot. This is my man Graybeard running on CP time right now, but he
Running on
wanted to make sure he was in the
CP.
building with the champ. You already know what it is.
Hey, I had homework, bro. I had homework.
I do too. Shoot.
Hey, look, glad to
In
have
a
you in the building.
two-page essay.
Great to have you in the building, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Got my
yeah,
man
yeah.
Graybeard in the building.
What's going
So
on, BirdCage family? How y'all doing?
It is what it is, baby. Let's get some more enthusiasm. Let's go. I know you
yeah,
tired. Let's go.
wake your behind up, man. We got the champ on the line. What's wrong with you?
Hey, man, can I finish my introduction? Can I finish my introduction, please?
Yes, sir.
Can I finish?
Go
Please.
ahead, brother.
Hey, first and foremost, Mr. Campbell, man, it is an honor and a privilege to meet you, sir. And it had already been stated, man. Welcome to the BirdCage.
Hey, you heard this old one ain't going nowhere.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Hey,
Let's
man.
go. Let's go. Let's go,
So,
man.
so champ. So go ahead and tell everybody where you're from, and pretty much just being in the city you're from, and what made you what you are now.
I'm born and raised in Jacksonville, Duval County.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say it like they said for the football team. You know when they
Go
got
ahead.
Duval. Hey,
There you go.
we gotta
He's
do
a
that.
Jaguar fan, ladies and gentlemen. By the way.
Hey, look, we take all kind of football fans, man.
But here's the problem. Y'all can't let people that don't look like us take our stuff. That was something that a dude named Bigger Rank, DJ started saying 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least 30 years ago. We would have it on like Duval. He would be running over on the radio, and that became our war cry. And what happened was that's a black thing.
Yep.
So we
Bigger
watch
rankings
out
and the cool runnings crew.
when our white cousins come along and start doing it. They mess it up. Duval.
Hey, but you gotta let these folks know. Bigger rankings and the cool runnings crew. Right. Gotta let them know.
Bigger Rankins and hey, I always say Bigger Rankin his greatest respect because Bigger Rankins is the reason that we got that. That is we got the greatest war cry of any city ever. Nobody got a war cry like that. I don't care who make up something. We was the first to have it. They can try to come along and do it, but this is what we do. I'm talking about, and that's look. I was fighting the fight one time. Back in 2004, I was fighting a guy named Kid Diamond. Got him off. No, 9-2. Saturday. 9-12 Saturday.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he's still in the lab right now, giving us a sneak peek at some of his young fighters. He's training as well as giving us an interview. So we're blessed to have him on. So that is why he's been stopping. So please.
We're wrapping up right now. My daughter's the last one to come. She's a police officer. She hasn't got off yet, but she comes in. She's we making her do guns and hoses this year. She busted somebody's daughter up. I'm telling you right now.
Yes, sir. She got the pedigree. She got your bloodline. What you expect?
My daughter fight just like me, and it's scary.
So in other words, she got nasty body shots.
You know what? Think about it is she is both of us play basketball. She is a real pool counter sister. You know.
This
She
is
boxing last night. She was throwing body shots. Pool counter. Bing bing pool counter. Oh, go ahead on, shout it. I felt
already.
fight with her shoulder down, popping her jab from the bottom, the whole nine.
Got that Georgia, got the Philadelphia shoulder roll, but like you educated me on that. It's called the Philly roll, but it wasn't started here.
Not the Philly shell. It was started by a guy named Charlie Burley in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is really a Pittsburgh thing.
Charlie
Okay.
Burney was one of the greatest. Black fighters back in the day when it was a time when he wasn't getting championship offers, and he was wearing everybody out.
Yeah.
Whew. That's a name that's just legendary.
Yeah, Charlie Burley and Ray Robinson wanted nothing to do with.
Exactly. And Ray Robinson, everybody knows he was in Detroit or whatnot, but he originally is a Georgia boy that moved to Detroit. But he was one of the best to do it. But that was a guy that Ray didn't want no smoke with.
No, he wasn't that problem. But I was getting ready to fight Kid Diamond, and it was so bad they had me. This is when I really realized how boxing was. I was a darling of boxing for so long because I had to build myself. So when I was getting ready to fight Kid Diamond, it treated me so bad that I was hurt. I wrote my will and wrote each one of my daughters a letter because the only way he was gonna win was to kill me. Period. And I never forget going to the ring. I always I usually go to the ring on a DMX song. There was no DMX song. There's only been 2 times I went to the ring, or 3 times I went to the ring. I can count on one hand the times I went to the ring not to a DMX song. And this time there was no music. I said I want a gladiator. I want to die a gladiator's death. Somebody said, "What you mean?" I said, "I don't want nobody saying nothing on my way to the ring. I'm going with no music." Everybody looked around the room, and when everybody found out that I was fighting Kid Diamond in Tampa, all the people that loved and grew up with me bought the last nosebleed seats in the top of the arena. I didn't know this. So as I was coming out, and they saw me coming out, they saw me walking out the tunnel, all you heard was Duva. They just kept saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told somebody, I said, it's the only time I ever felt like crying or going to the ring. I had to wipe my eyes because it was so big for me to hear that. Because that's our city's war cry. If you come from the hood and you scream, you know what that's all about. I don't care even if you hate each other. You know what that's about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And one of my guys said he remembers me walking to the edge, going in, and I turned around, looked up at the crowd. You can see me put my gloves over my mouth. You can hear me say, "Dude," loud as I could. And they said you could hear me off the ground screaming Duval. And I said, that was big for me because all those same people showed up when I fought won the world title. They showed up at the block party. And we had a hood block party because the city didn't give us one. We blocked off the neighborhood, put barbecue grills on the sidewalk, and everywhere you walk was like a block party. It was a block party. You could go get food from anybody's house, anybody grill. All you had to do was show up and get a plate. And that was the coolest thing that ever happened.
So with talking about Jacksonville, Florida, where you grew up and you come from, a lot of people don't know. Like I said, I'm an Atlanta boy, but I was one of the ones, that ended up moving to Jacksonville, Florida, and grew up around it. So I get what you're talking about when you say you hear that war cry, because it don't matter what side of town you on. You hear it, you know what it is. You might as well go ahead. If you're not known around the city or you don't have anybody with you, get out the way. Because right there, something's getting ready to happen.
Dude, A lot of guys don't understand how truly dangerous Jacksonville is.
True, I do.
They don't get.
And
You got guys from New York come down here and go missing. You got guys from Chicago, Detroit, L.A., wherever they come from, they go missing down here. It's another kind of criminal down here, and they will put you to death quick. It's the
but
South.
here's
Everybody,
the other thing. It's a rough city that you grow up in. I get it, Nate. But at the same time, it's a lot of great entrepreneurs that come out of the city. It's a lot of people who are philanthropists, people that are working in DC. And there's a beauty to the city that a lot of people don't really get to see. And it's a lot of successful people that come out of the city, such as yourself, Bob Hayes, James Collins, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Me and James grew up together.
Okay.
Okay.
Me and James grew up on the same block. Miss Juanita beat me and ran me home. Take pictures of me. I got pictures of that Mr. Jim took. I found a picture some years back that Mr. Jim took of me and my mama. I was 6 years old. Picture's 45 years old, man.
That's crazy.
And here's the question I got for you.
Mr. Jim, James Collins is a legend, but before he was a legend, his grandmama and granddaddy was legends.
Okay.
I definitely understand that because you and I both spoke on it because we had a conversation off the record. My great grandfather owned that gas station off Davis Street over by Stanton back in the day. James John Henry Broadnax Sr. So and that was big in those times when you talk about African Americans in the city, not just owning property, but owning businesses and being able to have everything in their own community. But we ain't gonna get too heavy on that. But we can't dog out Duval County like that because it's so much success that comes out the city.
I talk about the fact that so many people think it's just a country town.
Yeah,
it's not. It's very city, but because it's so big, there is country parts of it. But I had to have a conversation with somebody. For as much bad as it, here's the reason the Duval County is so bad. Because there's a hood. The hood is huge, but there's a hood everywhere in Jacksonville. There's a hood on the beach.
Yep.
How many? There's a hood on the beach, bro. And all the $1 million homes and $1 million condos is a hood, a stone's throw from that. It's called the Hill.
Yeah.
So
set up different like that anyway. So
yeah, but a lot of folks don't really get it that for as much as even with all of that, I wouldn't want to grow up. I wouldn't want to grow up anywhere else. Jacksonville made me tough. I grew up in the era where you had to have them hands. You had to have them sets. And my dad, a boy slapped me and ran me home when I was in first grade, first day of school. My daddy took me back down there. He said, after the fight was over, after I went and got my straightener, my dad said, don't nobody slap you and run you home. You from the ghetto. If they slap you now, they'll be slapping you and running you home for the rest of your life. He said, we don't take shit. We Campbells. We give it. He meant that.
And when he said that unleashed that Tasmanian devil that we've seen in the ring, that you've unleashed on so many opponents that that propelled you to being a world champ. But getting back to you bringing up, excuse me, I'm tongue twisted. You growing up in Jacksonville, and also growing up with, like you said, a legendary figure in the city with James Collins. Here's a question I have for you.
That just goes to show you how. See, me and James grew up in the greatest. A lot of folk don't know this. Me and James grew up in the greatest black community, one of the greatest in the history of this country. Before there was a Harlem Renaissance, they didn't know how black folk was making a living. They came to Jacksonville where me and James were growing up before we was born, and they saw exactly what them black folk was doing. He saw the togetherness, the stuff that the black folk was doing. Ray Charles came through our neighborhood. That's where he cut his teeth. He was right down the street, right down the road at St. Augustine. And what happened was there was no music scene there. So he would come to Jacksonville on the weekends and play all weekend and stay in the flop house. And And the only place you get a room was at the flop houses. And some of the flop houses was nice. And they can't even tear the building down. It's called the Strand Theater. They can't tear it down because he was there. It's still the building still stands to this day. You got Bob Hayes, Artist Gilmore, myself, but you got Ray Mercer was born in Jacksonville.
Former heavyweight champion of the world.
You got Sean Jefferson, who played on the Super Bowl team. I used to go to church with his brother. His brother was a stone cold killer. Woo!
And remember, you grew up during the time of one of the best safeties that's a Hall of Fame safety in the city with Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins, Leroy Butler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, you had to be good at what you did here. You had to be good at what you did here. James, back in the day, James' favorite thing was Booba gonna fight. That's what he called me. Booba gonna fight. Well, it is what it.
When did you become so? You already had the fire because of how you grew up and the environment you grew up in. Because like you said, most of your best fighters come from poverty, and that's where your best athletes come from. So when you come out of that environment, you also were an athlete outside of boxing. Heard you played basketball too.
I played basketball. I was dunking at 5'4".
James did vouch for that. James Collins verified that.
I'm gonna show y'all something. Look here. This is my daughter. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
Y'all see her lips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the height didn't kick in or whatnot, but you still had the hands. So when did you actually?
I played basketball, I played football, I played soccer, I ran cross country, I ran track. Dude, I did anything that could keep me out of the hood. As long as I was away from the hood, I couldn't get in trouble.
Nate, so here's a question we got for you. When did you really get started in the boxing and you really started to figure out, okay, these hands is what's gonna get me out of here. These hands is what's getting ready to change my fortune. When did you realize that?
1997. I was 25 years old.
Wow. And you know what's funny? We've had two late bloomer athletes that were great that have come on this show. You're the second late bloomer. The first late bloomer we had was Dr. Mel Pender, who won in the 1968 Olympics, who ironically was best friends with Bob Hayes, the Eastside Jacksonville legend you mentioned earlier. So he was a late bloomer just like you. He started at 25 years old, same age.
Well, for me, man, I was such an outstanding basketball player. I was an athlete. Man, Under Cheeseboro stayed across the street from me when I was a kid.
Olympic gold medalist. Whew.
I would watch Under Cheeseboro outrun some of the best. It wasn't no girl could beat her. Very few boys could outrun her. And she would run barefooted.
Come on, man.
That's a Reebok Trojan legend and a Tennessee State University legend.
I watched her run barefoot across the street one day. Dude, I thought she set the pavement on fire. Dude, y'all got. I've been blessed. Lavernius Coles. I remember watching him running. Watching Lavernius running reigns at the Bob Hayes.
Trouble.
I thought somebody was chasing this motherfucker.
So here's the question I got for you. We know Jacksonville has produced so many great athletes. Another great athlete. She's still a legend because her record's still there. Is Rhonda Broadnack's high jump record at Reebok High School, 1984. Over 40 years.
Rhonda Broadnack's. People was talking about her when I was in school.
Well, that's my auntie, so I gotta give a shout out. We got athletes in the family, but that's my girl though.
She still holds that record. That record has been hanging on since
1980, 83, I think it was.
83.
For the high jump
40
record. She
years,
still
And when
got
she
it.
did it,
40 years
when,
old.
when, when she did it, it was such a big thing. She is truly
Mhm.
a legend.
Yeah.
And that was when my love for Southern University came in because she attended there and I was supposed to play ball there. But
Right.
I'm gonna let my man Killian slide in with a question because I know he's got something that he would love to know about your career, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Campbell,
Yeah.
my dad, regular old Nate.
I'm sorry,
Hey, oh,
Nate. Oh, it's just a
right.
respect. That's the military in me coming out, so I apologize.
Yeah, but Nate, in that boxing ring, I know you been in some gladiator battles with some guys. I just want some of the listeners and our viewers to know, what is your toughest opponent or toughest match you had to get into, and kind of get some of the details of somehow how that match went.
Thanks for
Father
taking my
Time
question.
Father Time was my greatest opponent. He don't stop coming, and that's the truth. My hardest opponent was always Father Time
Mm,
because I started so late. I had to get going. So
Okay.
I was always up against it. But if you talk about the men that I faced, ugh, Ali
mm,
Fanika was tough, the tall 6'1" African, because I had to do
Mm-hmm.
so much to make weight. He could punch also. Um,
Okay.
my 10th fight, I fought a guy named Kano, Angel Rios. Angel Rios, oh my God, this mother such and such could fight. But those two fights really were the hardest fights for me. No other fights really were really hard like that. I could mentally get through them. But my whole career, I fought with injury. I had a pinched nerve in my back my whole career. And I wouldn't let them cut me. So that was my hardest, my injury and Father Time.
Okay. That's good to hear, man. I mean, also, I mean, with such a late start and going to get some of the younger fighters out there, I mean, other than Father Time, what are some other adversity that you had to face? Starting so late in the game.
I really never had much support for most of my career. I trained myself for a lot of my career.
Mm.
Okay.
Um, I trained myself a lot of my fights for myself. I fought from 26 to 47 my first 5 fights. Go look it up. My lowest weight was 28. My highest fight was 47. Well, they were 47. And I had all knockouts. So for
mm.
me, my thing was Jimmy Walters, God bless him. I gotta go see him. He's sick now. Jimmy said, I'm gonna make you champion despite yourself, baby.
Yes, sir.
I never forget when he signed me. He went to Roy Jones's house and he told Alfie, baby, I got myself a prize fighter. That son of a gun will fight. Ain't no cat hair in his shit. That's just what he told me.
how
so
how how was
we
being Dunn King in person?
Huh?
so so hold on. So Nate, we love the stories you're telling. We trying to, we want you to speak freely, but we kind of trying to limit the cussing on here.
All
I
right.
know you're doing your thing. I want you to be real. I
I
want you to be real, but we just kind of had,
I want
yo,
to I want to get you tagged. I don't want to get you tagged for
yeah, because we've been tagged before. We tried to look. We just a poor business trying to
I
get
get
to
you.
the rich house.
Thank you for telling me. I clean it up. But you said what's like Don King in person?
Yeah, I just like because people see him,
That's
and see him in boxing history. I'm just trying to get like somebody that
the best
was
I ever had.
person.
The best promoter I ever had.
Mm.
Okay, enough said.
Only in America.
Oh, oh, look here. No, y'all ain't gonna dog me like that. Don't do me like that. I done made more champions than anybody in the world.
Boy, that man
Yeah,
is a
you,
legend. I don't care what nobody says. That
you've
man
been
is a legend.
around him so well, and outside of you talking about Don King or whatnot, man, you've also been, how can I put it, man? You did comedy, so we can see where the impressions come in at,
Yeah,
and like you said, growing up the way you did, snapping jokes, you had to have them fists too.
I was the poorest kid in my community. I was the I my even though my family took care of me, my mother took care of me. Most times we had lights and water because my daddy was sickly. My mother was on drugs, but she was off doing her thing. But my mom would hustle and bring that money back and give my daddy money for me. But she was out in the streets doing her thing. And
Mm.
Mom was a hustler. I never seen my mama beg nobody for nothing. She never begged for a hit, none of that. She was always I get home. And she said, I'm gonna be and my mama say, no matter what I go through, I gotta function. I gotta function. And so as I
Post
grew
the
up,
link.
listening, understanding that my mother had a habit. My daddy was alcoholic and I was poor. But I never saw it like everybody else did. Because not having things didn't make me poor. Because my daddy loved me and my mama loved me. So I wasn't poor. So I tell people on a regular basis, for me, what hard me was knowing that where I came from, I was against it. There was no way that I was gonna make it if I didn't fight for it. Every I normally tell guys when they say I deserve, I say you don't deserve nothing you're willing to fight, kill, and die for. That's the only way you deserve it.
Mm.
And I
We
insist on my guys. If you ain't willing to fight, kill, and die for it, you don't deserve it.
and we need that for these new athletes, especially like we Falcon fans in here, so we need that for our football team. Hell, we would actually enjoy if you even gave them a pep talk to help them out, because a lot of the guys that we get now is a lot of them are pampered. Like, and it's not just our boys; it's athletes this day and age, athletic participants. Period. Now in every sport, they're all like that. They're divas.
I take that back. My white guys ain't like that.
Mm.
Them white boys, my friend, them white boy mean man. I got a kid named White Boy Dallas. That's his ring name. White Boy
Mm.
Dallas. If you stand there, stand there if you want to. Hey, I got a little Asian girl named Mary Ann. Whenever she hit, all you want to do is say, "Oh, Mary Ann." Woo!
So Glenn,
Yo,
So what do you have for the champ? What you got for the champ?
Nate, I gotta ask this question, man. And I sort of remember this fight that I was watching with my late grandfather and my uncle. You were fighting a man named Daniel Oliveira, and you literally, I don't know what he said to you. I don't know if he was talking junk or whatnot, but you beat this man like he stole from you.
Dan
And then
Allison,
in that third round, when you hit him with that, I thought the referee was trying to repetition because he was like, did he piss you off?
no, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm going to see Danny. I went and saw Daniel Allison last year. His cancer came back. They
Mm.
Oh,
called me then. His cancer came back. Um, Daniel Allison is probably one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. I respected him, and I didn't want to beat him. I wanted to get him out of there. But Daniel Allison could punch, and a lot of people don't know this. Daniel Allison was the first guy to ever knock down Prince Nassim Ahmed.
Mm.
Okay.
Dan, Danny hit me and hurt my feelings.
dog,
Knock him.
when
Hey,
he hit you, you was like,
hey,
nah,
hold on.
bro.
He said, wait a minute. He
Feeling
didn't knock
part.
your jock. Wait a minute. He ain't knock
Yeah.
your jock strap loose. You said he hurt your feelings. That's a whole nother kind of hurt.
Bro, he hit me. I bit down my mouthpiece. I bit straight through my dental mouthpiece. Oh,
Woo.
my my bite was so strong in my mouthpiece. I've been through like 3 or 4 mouthpieces in my career,
Mm.
but I had to. And
Mm.
Daniel Allison hit me so hard with such a clean shot that nobody saw. He hurt my feelings.
And hurt your pride too.
Yes, and when
Yeah.
I hit him. I was going to throw something else, but because he dropped his jab, I went over the top and leaned inside to get an angle, and that's how I caught it. But he didn't see the shot, and that's what made it look so bad. But
Man,
Daniel Alexander, I want y'all to pray for my man. He asked for me today. Told his wife that he called. He sent message for me today. So I'm looking for a time I can get on. I'm looking for his wife to call me and tell me when I can come because I'm going to his bedside. He beat me
gotcha.
before and it came this time. It came back. It says bad. When I tell you, oh my God, when I tell you, such a great person. Such a great person. I never the one guy that every time I saw him after that, it was nothing but love and respect. Even this last time we was together in Puerto Rico, and we was talking about the fight, and he couldn't, fight cancer, this and another. He said, I never understood how you were able to get that shot off. He said, but now looking at your arms, I understand how you got that shot off. He said there was no way you were supposed to get that shot off. I wasn't. But by me laying inside and keeping my eye on him and looping the shot over his shot, I was able to get the shot off. But when I tell you, no greater guy, no greater guy. I can do nothing. I can never say anything but the greatest things about Daniel Pepino Allison.
And speaking of that, you were saying you didn't have anybody really backing you. Your story reminds me, he fought before I was born, but like I said, I love boxing just like I love football. And honestly, he was one of my favorite he was one of my favorite lightweight fighters of all time and welterweight fighters. My man, Aaron the Hawk Pryor. I loved Aaron the Hawk Pryor. And I don't care about y'all Sugar Ray Leonard fans on here. He ducked him. I don't care what you say. He ducked him.
Y'all know
You won't let that go, huh?
I never knew that he was a mentor of yours, but he was your style. I mean, he was unorthodox and yours was sort of similar, but you two could throw some body shots like it was nothing. But Aaron just had a chin of granite. You couldn't kill him.
I didn't want to be like Aaron Pryor. I wanted to go to sleep and wake up and be Aaron Pryor. I got robbed in a fight with Jason Litzau. Not Litzau, Jason Ingwalson. And I said, I'm done. I can't take this no more. They keep robbing me. Nassim Richardson, God bless him, he's gone now. Said, Nate, come here, baby. Somebody want to talk to you. Come here. So I went over there, and Aaron Pryor was standing there. He said, you fight just like me. That was the greatest moment for me. That moment and me meeting Muhammad Ali. And I mean, I got several moments that I can say that were great moments. Meeting Muhammad Ali, meeting Aaron Pryor, Marvin Hagler, Dean Fulmer, Campbell.
Wow, you met wait a minute, you met Carmen Basilio. Woo! Killer.
Hold on, let me show y'all something.
And ladies and gentlemen, why Nate Campbell is showing us this here. This is something that we get right here. He's going to the archives. So we got this from Haskell Standback last week. Yeah. Nate is definitely going into the archives tonight. Thank you, sir.
They only made so many of these pictures.
Yeah.
But look who's on mine. Ernie Terrell.
Ooh.
Jose Torres. Dean Fulmer. Carlos Ortiz. One of my mentors, Angelo Dundee. My brother who broke my heart and finally apologized right before he passed away, Parnell Whitaker.
Sweet Pete.
Love to see it.
Alexis Arguello.
Ooh.
Yeah, Ron.
God, man.
And what did you say? I met Carmen Basilio. Carmen Basilio
to me, I feel like he was a hell of a fighter. He was very underrated and underappreciated in his career.
He was so small standing next to me.
And had a heart like a lion. Everybody don't realize that.
Yes, he did. I'm gonna tell you something. His wife kept pinching my cheeks. Oh my God, how old are you? And I said, I'm 36. Oh my God, you look like you're in your 20s. Just kept pinching my cheek. Oh, he's so handsome. And I said, it ain't me, Mr. Basilio. He said, she always does it.
Now coming up in Florida, you guys were the ones who really laid the foundation for Florida fighters. Yourself, Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tarver, the Magic Man, Ray Mercer, and so many others.
AC, um, um, Randall Bailey, Smoke Gainer,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Wow.
myself, David Santos,
Yep.
Tyron Cruz lived in Florida. Um, Berto was a kid. Andre Berto was a kid. Keith Thurman was a kid. Um, man. Um, 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 who else? Frisco Ariello.
Mm.
Shit, man. I'm telling you, man, it was thick in here.
And
Let me,
and here's the thing, Nate. Now you know I'm an Atlanta guy. Grew up around
Lamar Murphy.
Jacks.
Hey,
But
Lamar Murphy.
ooh,
Um, Richard Hall. Jimmy Navarro. Araceli Albert lived here at the time. This is
mm.
my Hall of Fame year. Look at this Hall of Fame year. Carl Daniels, Buster Mathis, Bonnie Canino, Jeff Lacey, um, Glenn Wolfe, Elisier Castillo. I mean, all these, look, Danny Santiago, Bennett Johnson,
Santiago.
Tony
What
Hawk,
they do?
Jamil
Mm.
McClellan, Sanchez, Frankie Randall, Marcel Clay. If you look up top right there, up there is David Tua, Corey Spinks, Randall Bailey, Al Cole, Shannon Briggs, and Fred Kendo. All these guys were fighting in and around Florida, training in and around Florida all the time.
Mm. And and here's another guy. And you talked about some guys that you met during your career, and you just spoke on Aaron the Hawk Pryor. Rest in peace, Mr. Pryor. Um, you know I got to give him that respect because down there in Miami they didn't give him that when he was the champ. They just called him by his name. They didn't call him Mister. But another guy that you spoke on, Saquon Barkley's uncle, Eran the Blade Barkley. You spoke on him.
Man, I love Iran. You know, Iran, me and Iran get along so good. I mess with Iran all the time. Every time he see me, he want to bust me up. I say, you won't stop doing me like that. I said, stop ring walk facing me. I say, nobody had a meaner, scarier face than Iran Barkley. Every time he came to y'all, he was so gritty, and I just loved him. And what was beautiful about Iran is really not that kind of guy. He's
Mhm.
gritty and grimy, but he's the sweetest. Oh my God, the sweetest person.
He said his sister was the toughest one in that house who showed him how to fight. So and think about it. Now he has his nephew who starts in the NFL for the New York Giants, Saquon Barkley. You
Yeah,
know, his running style is really similar to his uncle, straightforward,
in your
hard
face.
nosed, and he coming for you.
Yeah, man, you gotta realize something. I don't even debate with these guys about how awesome these guys of today are. They ain't even ready for it. They're not ready for the guys of the Barkleys and the James Tonys and the Marvin Haglers and the Ray Leonards and the, come on, man,
And
Durant.
we now now we talk now and here's the other thing I was going to ask you. Now you pretty much talk about one of the hardest shots you took in the fight. What was the worst injury that you experienced, whether if it was in a fight or whether it was in sparring, with boxing?
I was never injured. Other than getting cut, I was never injured.
God had his hand on you.
Man,
All the time.
I stepped off a curb and tweaked my back and inflamed my exposed nerve in my back.
Mm.
Mm.
That was the worst injury I ever had, and I fought Victor Ortiz with that.
Woo.
Yeah.
It was so bad I couldn't run. I had to hit mitts for 10 to 12 rounds straight. That's
Mm.
how I ran.
So
Great.
so you didn't get hurt. You were blessed. You were blessed with that part. Um, the other question I had for you was, what's one of the toughest things when you lose a fight? How is it? Because, like I said, I was a football player, so I was on a team sport. I don't know, I wrestled, but I trained with them. I was too banged up to wrestle. But when you talk about an individual sport, everything is on you. You can't blame somebody for you taking a shot or whatnot. Um, how does it like? What is it like when it's just you that have to be accountable for what you might have messed up on in a fight that might have cost you? Like, what's the toughest part about that?
I was blacking out for weeks. I had been blacking out for years, maybe a year. And I blacked out in the Robbie Peaton fight, and everybody thought I was showboating, and I wasn't. What I would do is to hide what was going on. When I get my bearings back, I would do something to kind of to try to take the eyes off what was going
Yeah,
on.
that's what you was really going through.
Right.
I feel.
And when I blacked out, Robbie P. he hit me and I went down. I was already out before he hit me.
Mm.
I was so relaxed. That I bit my tongue.
Mm.
Mm,
Mm.
And
And
nobody knew what I was going through, but because I was by myself, I really didn't have a whole bunch of backing. And I couldn't afford to get those brain scans. I never said a word.
mm.
So I had to take that and take it on the chin for my whole career. Robbie did the job he was supposed to do. And I was okay with that. And I told somebody said, let me tell y'all something. Nobody want to hear you make excuses. Nobody gives a darn. Get up, take it on the chin, and keep it moving. And that's what I did. So for me, the hardest part was swallowing that big lump of shame, coming back and doing my job. That was the hardest part.
and and see, you were and I tell guys all the time, like, I know some young players, I've helped, just pointers, helping them coach out, break film down like corners. I was a safety in the corner. And we tell everybody on the field, the loneliest position is in the secondary. And it's the honest to God truth. Because it's not like I'm a linebacker where I can get camouflage or I'm a running back. No, I'm one-on-one with a wide receiver. Or if I'm at that safety position, I'm the last line of defense. Everybody sees what you gonna do. You pretty much are the last line of defense that could either stop a touchdown or you can break up a pass.
Yep.
And it's Lonely Island. And I tell people all the time, you get recognized if people know your name for getting beat. That's not good. And like you're saying about being a fighter, you're by yourself. Guess what? Yeah, it's a team sport, but that's one part of that team sport that you are by yourself and everybody can see what happens. So that's why I say I respect boxers so much because it's just you. We at least have a team.
You the
It's
team.
just you.
I am one of my brothers. My brother from another mother. We've been friends for almost 30 years now. Close to 30 years now.
Mm.
Donovan Darius.
Woo! One of the hardest hitting safeties.
Yes, he was. And he came to my very first pro fight. And he sent me the video. I sent him video many years ago for me and the amateurs at the Golden Gloves. He sent it back to me the other day.
Mm.
I have it. He had it. Found it on his computer. And it was such a beautiful thing. My first Golden Glove fight ever. National Golden Glove fight ever.
Mm.
And it was in 1998. It was the year that Steve Cunningham won the Golden Gloves.
Mm.
I got some of everybody on that. Steve Cunningham. I got some of everybody on that video. And so for me, I get it. I get why people don't understand how hard it is for us to be out here in these streets. It's hard, man. It's hard.
Yep.
It's so hard. But that's the part of being mentally strong. My daddy and my grandmother and my mother, they bred me to be a fighter through life, not just boxing, through life. So for me, getting back up and going back in that ring wasn't hard at all. What was hard was knowing if I didn't, I couldn't feed my kids.
No.
I could live with that.
And,
That's real.
and the thing is, accountability is something that we lack in the society when it comes to you make a mistake, you got to just own up to it and just take it. It's just like we saying that, like, people don't realize athletics, whether it's football, basketball, it don't matter. If you have played a sport at a high level from, if you play high school, that's one thing. If you play college, semi-professional, or became a professional, or in your case, you don't play boxing, you're a fighter, you're a professional. And hands down, it's like, look, you got it. That teaches you how to be accountable because guess what? You can't weasel your way out of it when people see your mistakes.
I never forget when I came back from that Robbie P fight, everybody wanted, I love, and I'm going to say this, and I don't give a damn who get mad. White folk love to tell me, you should be humble. Let me tell you something. Humble's for the guy that can't fight.
Mm.
Humble's for the guy that can't. I want a kid that's not humble. I want a kid that has to be humbled. Because that kid gonna fight. He fights from something different. You need a kid that fights from that place of needing to be humble. And that's important. If a kid is too humble, he'll acquiesce to you doing what you want to him. And we can't have that. I want a kid. I gotta pull the reins on.
Yeah, I need to reel it back. I need to calm down.
Need a dog. That's what you need. You need a
There
dog.
you
Is what
go.
you say.
There you
Yeah.
go right there. A dog.
Hey, Jimmy Walden once told somebody, they said, you gonna put your kid in with that pit bull? Jimmy said, I don't know nothing about the pit bull, but I got this little Sharpei, and that's something gonna fight.
So I'm gonna let Killian. I'm gonna let Glenn jump on the next question or whatnot because he's got something for you, champ.
Yeah. Oh.
Champ, your screen went out. There you go.
We back.
Yeah, I had Danny Santiago just call me.
Oh, wow.
Speak of your man.
Yeah,
But go ahead, Glenn.
Nate, I got a question, man. People don't understand how hard it is to be a professional fighter. They just think you just. No, what I was saying is, I don't think people truly understand how hard it is to be a professional fighter. They just think you just ball your fist in there, go in the ring, and just swing. It's more to that. It's more technical. I mean, and great, and more than that, it's more mental. Explain to the people how hard it is and how much you have to train and be focused and be really truly dedicated to be a professional fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I started late, so I had to train 10 times harder than everybody else. I had to train longer, more. And for me, the hardest part for me was I had to catch up. I was behind the ball, the 8 ball. So I had to play catch up. So for me, I had to give everything I had every day. There was never time I could go light in the gym. I had to go hard because everybody was better than me in my eyes. So I had to work hard, and it took everything I had, man. It took all my mental, all my physical, all my emotional. I tell guys all the time, I couldn't show you I was hurt. I couldn't show you I was tired. Tired is for rich people.
I like that. I like that.
Hey, you know what? We definitely understand the sentiments of that comment.
Boy. Ooh.
You got a man that's above you that work 3 jobs and 4 at home. I got to give you your props, man. You one of the hardest working men out there, Killer K Dub. You know how it go.
I try to do what I can do when
I ain't get it. My daughter's a police officer. She coming to the gym after she get off her shift. The guy's gonna make sure she get worked out. I gotta go home. And I told somebody, I said, y'all don't understand what it's like. I love seeing somebody work hard. I love to see the grind. Those are the ones I love to see a kid that ain't have nothing, but when it made something. I get him anything I got.
And that was one of the reasons why, we really wanted you on the show to kind of tell your story because, we're like, I'm gonna be honest with you, the way that we started off with the BirdCage, we got folks that's behind the scenes that's not around right now. They're not in the camera. Our other crew, the First Lady, Turbo, Coach Brant, Meltdown, Killer Cam. We have so many individuals. Say again.
No, we have got Q.
And our man Scoop and our man Q. We have so many individuals that grind. We all got together and we just started grinding together. And it's just a beautiful thing because, and at the end of the day, and Coach Tonio as well, but at the end of the day, how can I put it? We literally started off like you. Everybody's got podcasts, everybody's doing things. And for us to come from what we started from, because, originally, I started by myself. Everybody started coming around and they started helping. And right now, what you see here, this is a work of a lot of people, and we still grinding right now here in the BirdCage. So when you talk about that hunger and Like, we got knocked down. We done made some mistakes, but we keep fighting through it just like you did. So it's an honor to have a world champion of your caliber that had to get it, that literally had to pull up your bootstraps, and you started off late, and you amounted to an undisputed, unified world champ. That's hard.
Hard.
Cornell Whitaker was the other one who did it.
Well, you know what?
Very
Because
hard.
four belt system, I only get undisputed. I only get unified. Juan Diaz unified. I was unified. There's only one undisputed lightweight champion in the 3-belt system. Cornell Whitaker.
One of the best to ever do it.
And I would have been the first one to do the 4-belt, but Manny Pacquiao wouldn't take the fight.
Ooh, man,
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man?
No, but remember, you said you fought. Like, here's the thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, when he says Manny Pacquiao ain't taking the fight, I'm gonna break it down for you because I know I got some people in here that aren't heavy with that. Let's put it this way. We spoke on Aaron Pryor. Picture a skinny Mike Tyson that had a chin. That's what Aaron Pryor fought like. Nate the Galaxy Warrior Campbell fought the same way, literally the same way as Aaron Pryor. Pacquiao didn't like mixing up with guys that would stand flat-footed and be right in front of him. He didn't like that, because it's like, all right, what he gonna bring to you. You're gonna have a war on your hands. And he was a guy that didn't like it. So Nate, I'm gonna be honest with you. I respect Manny because Manny was a great fighter, but I think you'd have took him. That's just me. I think you'd have took his lunch money.
Evidently, they did too, because they damn sure they offered me $5 million and never sent a contract. I said, I take it. I take it.
Yeah, I take it.
That way, see, what I would do is I would take the money, because if I take the money, they can't say it was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got you.
And here's the other question I got for you, Nate, because we moving around and whatnot with everything. Now, another question I had for you was, when did you realize it was time for you to retire from boxing, and you knew you had to hang it up because you fell in love with grinding, and you were used to fighting your whole life, so it was like it was a perk for you because you were getting paid for it now. When did you realize it was time to hang up the gloves, and how was the transition getting back into regular life?
I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I gotta go. This gonna be the best way to end it. My mom and my daughters was trying to get me retired. So basically, I was gonna quietly retire. 2014, I was gonna quietly retire. Before that, I just wasn't gonna fight anymore. I went to start promoting. I was promoting the fight down in Destin, Florida, and they said the only way they would give me the money to do the fight was if I fought on the card. So I said, all these guys need me, so I did it. In between the first and in the second round, about halfway through, I realized in my mind I'm thinking, why the hell am I here? Holyfield's there, Reggie Johnson's there, Holyfield, Reggie Johnson, Al Cole, Chop Corley. So my amateur friends, it was thick. It was thick there. My daughters. And in the middle of it, I just said, man, I ain't finna keep doing this. If I can't get the fights I want, I'm done. Because it don't make sense. I can't get in shape for doing this. I couldn't do it. So I went back to the corner and I told Alfie Smith, who was Roy's corner man, Roy's mid man. I said, I'm done, Alfie. He said, you done? You want me to stop? I said, no. I mean, I'm done after this fight. My bad. So I went out. He said, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to put on a show. I went out and boxed a great fight. I retired. It was time. If I wasn't going to get the fights I wanted, why would I keep doing it? I couldn't get up for the fights I was getting. The transition was hard because I couldn't get over being a fighter, having a reason. I couldn't get over that. And for me, I went through depression like anybody else does.
Yep. And all three of us are military veterans or whatnot, so we understand when it comes to transitioning back to life. Like I can honestly say I've been out getting ready to be 4 years. It's gotten easier, but it's still hard. I think probably when I get to year 5, I think I'll really be there. Because I got some days I wake up and I'm still like, oh, I don't do this no more. You know, it's one of those things. So
you got to talk to Buddy McGirt and Ronnie Shields. They gave me the dick. Buddy said, "Man, I ain't retired. I quit." Ronnie said, "Yep, me too."
So before we let you go, we got something we're gonna ship out to you. As you see the background poster, that's something
cool.
that we got made up for you, whatnot, brother. We're gonna send that to you. Outside of the poster that we're gonna send to you, you know, you're friends with one of our favorite fighters on this panel. You mentioned Evander Holyfield,
Right.
and he's an Atlanta Falcon fan, and we love anything Atlanta, but Evander was our guy. We still love Evander to this day, and you know, hopefully one day, you know, if he ever gets to check us out, man, it'll be cool if we ever get to talk to him.
Whenever I see him, I tell him, you got to check this show out, man.
Yeah, man.
We're fans, like I said, with the BirdCage, and this is the On the Perch segment. As I said, we do interviews for all athletes, don't matter what sport, and don't matter if it's females too, because we're working on trying to get some female athletes to come in here too, because we want to touch on their greatness.
Bell Hallback.
Say again.
The Bell Hallback. Florida legend.
Woo.
My girl. Hey, Kristen Martin said she did not want to fight her. Told me that in her own mouth.
And Christy Martin was a tough cookie back in the day.
She said that's the one woman that scared her. Go look her up. Bell Hallback. Look up on Facebook.
I definitely will. So we want to thank
Bell Hallback was number 1 in the world up until they robbed her in a fight late last year. 61 years old.
Wow.
He was my chief sparring partner for a year and a half.
Well, we definitely appreciate you stepping through on the Perch segment and out pretty much in the BirdCage with us tonight, man. It's been an honor and a privilege, and we definitely know we're gonna get you back during football season because you a Jaguar fan, and we play y'all in London this year. So I need you to come through for us so we can have a little trash talk after the game.
I don't watch football.
I
stopped being look. I stopped being a Jaguar fan when they the way they cut Donovan Darius. When they sent Donovan found out he was cut in the newspaper. I heard.
Ooh,
yeah.
True. Oh man,
hey. But you know what though? I think you'd be a great GM because me and you've had football talk, and you even knew about old Haskell Stanback that we had on the show last week.
Yep, I know football. Watch no more.
Yeah. Well, we definitely got to get you to come back or whatnot. You tell Evander, hey, we got a spot here for him. We got a spot here for him if you want to ever check us out.
I give you my word. I'm gonna say I got 3 guys that would love to interview you.
And we all fans. I've been a fan of Evander since back in the day. We know he played running back at the Boys and Girls Club and was a high school running back in the day. And was just like his son Elijah, who played at Georgia, just small.
Yeah.
But we want to thank the champ for coming through, and we appreciate it, brother. Get home safe. So we're not out of the show just yet. We got a little something else we're gonna talk about. The Falcons schedule has come out, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. You already know what it is, man. These Falcons, they got to it. So Nate the Galaxy Warrior Campbell was a great guest for us. We definitely appreciate him for taking time out of his busy schedule because, he's training fighters right now. He's training a lot of them. So right now we're going to get back into out of the ring and we're going to step into the bins. And let's talk about this, fellas. So how do y'all feel about this new schedule that we got right now?
I like it, man. I like it, man. We're playing a lot of opponent that have been beat up as well, like we did in the draft. I'm looking at we got to play Houston. That's gonna be a very interesting game for us.
Well, the first game of the season we got Carolina.
Okay. We can't take a division game.
And I posted this now. Now here's the funny part. Now I got questioned. I got jugged. That ain't the real schedule. It was a lot of schedules that were leaked. So, I was able to get my hands on it, and I posted it the other day. We had some fans on here kind of clowning, but it was okay. But here's the thing. You got Carolina week 1. You got Green Bay week 2. Then you have Detroit in Detroit, and then you have Jacksonville and London, and then you got Houston week 5. These are your first 5 games. How do you expect these first 5 games to go, fellas?
I think all of those are winnable games for us. I believe we'll be 4-1. I'm not sure exactly who that one will be, but I can see us being 4-1 after that first 5 games.
Yeah.
Hopefully it ain't Jacksonville, because I got to hear the mouth of a lot of people from that's Jaguar fans. I know they've been chomping at the bit ever since they went back to the playoffs for the first time in some years. So I've been hearing it. But
I sort of like the first 5 weeks.
Yeah,
because we got 3 home games: Carolina, Green Bay, go on the road for Detroit. Then we got to go across the pond to London. Then we're back at home week 5 against Houston, man. We have to have a good home stand.
Now just think about it. We get Washington in week 6.
Right.
So that's a team that's on the rebuild right now. So we have a chance to capitalize on that. We have our 7th game of the season. It's an away game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or should I say the Tampa Bay Yucks. And then after Tampa Bay, we get the Tennessee Titans, Arthur Smith's old team, and that's going to be in Nashville on October 29th. And then we play the Minnesota Vikings at home, and then we get the Cardinals in Arizona, and then we get them lousy, stinking, baghead, Creole toilet bowl eating Saints. Yeah, I said we owe them. We need to put our foots right between their hip pockets, as my grandfather would say.
We owe them. We owe God. No, we owe them. Oh my God.
And then we get to experience New York on December the 3rd. We got to play the Jets.
This schedule is really diverse. I mean, I wanted to have a good home stand, man. We gotta protect the bins, man.
Yeah, you got to.
We gotta protect the bins, man. We got to go. We playing the like of Minnesota. You're playing the like of freaking Houston. We don't know how Washington look. I mean, Green Bay without Polk and Rodgers. I mean, it's just, and then we got to turn around and then play Aaron Rodgers with his new team with the Jets. So it's like,
well, just think about it, man. And after the Jets, we get the, like I said, we get the Yucks again for the second time, and then, we get, they didn't have a date for Carolina, but we get the Pussycats after that. That's what I call them. And then afterwards, on Christmas Eve, we get the Indianapolis Colts, and then our last 2 games are away games. You got Chicago, December 31st, the day before New Year's, and then you have the Aints for the last game of the season.
We gotta win that game. I'm sorry.
All in all,
game we can't win.
I'll say this. All in all, I think the Falcons are gonna probably end up having 11 wins this year.
That's what about 10. I feel about 10, 11 wins.
I'm gonna say this. I believe we're gonna have 10 or 11 wins this year on the schedule, because this is winnable. And it's a lot of teams that are still trying to shake back with new personnel.
Yeah, new quarterbacks, a lot of new quarterbacks we're facing. I really am going to stick by that 10 to 11 wins, even before even training camp gets started. We just need, barring injury, we should get at least 10 to 11 wins out of this team.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
Football will be here before you know it, because, in a couple of weeks, OTA start, like the 23rd, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, once after that, then you got rookie mini camp. And next thing you know, it's training camp. So it's coming.
So I predict, like I said, I predict 10 or 11 wins this year, because, like I said, we got 7 wins with a scrapyard team, and we had games that we literally were in, and we lost. All the game minus the Cincinnati game, all the games we lost, we could have won. So with more firepower that we've added to this offense, all that matters is if this man right here that's on my shirt, can Mr. Ritter get this thing rolling? Because now you have weapons. You have a very solid running game behind you. You have 2 weapons in Jonnu Smith, and you got Kyle Pitts at the tight end position. And then you have Drake London, and then you also have Mac Hollis and company. You have weapons at your disposal right now. Now, The kid that I think is going to probably shock a lot of people is Justin Marshall out of Buffalo. Reminds you of a poor man's Julio Jones, and probably an inch or two shorter, but just as physical and plays just as nasty. And I'm not talking about when Julio was hurt. I'm speaking on Julio when he's healthy. That is who the kid looks like. But we'll see. So, what are you guys thinking with some of this stuff that's going to be coming up? Because we're going to have a pre-recorded show next week, and we definitely are going to jump into some of those things that we're talking about right now. We're just giving a little sample because we wanted to make sure that we did touch on that schedule and let y'all know we see it. We already see it, and we see what's coming.
We see it, and I think like K-Dub and like you said, his story, minimum 10 wins. Minimum 10 wins. We win the division. We get a play, and we go to the playoffs. I'm sorry, I gotta hit that ball hard, man. I got to, man. We finally got the depth we finally got the depth that we want in key positions, especially on the offensive line.
Still not done yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet, but we got depth.
Yeah,
we got more weapons now than we ever had.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear no more excuses about points.
Stop, man. He like, look at you ain't got signed yet, man. Hey, look, man.
We ain't got no excuse about points. We just need to put it together.
Yeah.
We still don't have here's the thing. I think Justin Marshall is gonna make the squad. He's gonna have to work his way up. But I think at this point we don't really have a solidified number 2 yet. Eventually we will get one, but I think that's gonna happen. But hey, we gotta wrap this thing up, fellas. Hey, I definitely appreciate y'all coming through. Hard work as usual. Everybody behind the scenes, can't name. I'm gonna get tongue twisted naming everybody again, but I definitely appreciate you guys and your hard work. Y'all have been phenomenal during this off season, and we're gonna continue to make strides. And we got something coming for these viewers, man. We got a little event we working on right now, so y'all stay with us. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell my guys goodbye, and I appreciate y'all for coming through. And we definitely are going to see you guys next week at 8 p.m. It is going to be a pre-recorded show. So you still can leave your comments and everything, but it's going to be a pre-recorded show. Got some like I said, going to go ahead and take care of some things with my father, lay him to rest, and just spend some time with the family. And, I just appreciate all the love I've gotten from my crew, my BirdCage crew, and then all of you that come in here every week that show us love, but especially for reaching out when you guys find out my father passed. I definitely appreciate it. It's not an easy thing, but we gonna get through this. I'm just happy that he went in peace, and it was just a beautiful thing. So without him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to give you these history facts and everything else. So I'm thankful for life that he provided me. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. We definitely appreciate you guys for coming through and stopping through. And we definitely will see y'all next week. Peace.